for Assassin's Creed Unity on the PlayStation 4 or on any PlayStation 4 at all, or any system that has the game. First, I want to explain, as you can see, I completed a crowd event there. You should do those whenever possible. It starts off with you get rewards at the first 5, and then the first 15, and then the first 30. And exponentially up like that. Now, when the display comes up, it'll say 1 out of 5, and then it'll restart at 0 once you complete those 5, and it'll say 1 out of 10, and then 1 out of 15, and then 1 out of 20, and so on. But the rewards get pretty good pretty quickly. Secondly, what you're going to do is do as many of these do as many of the random special things you can find. You get creed points. Oops, that's the wrong button. You get creed points, which are used to upgrade weapons and that kind of stuff. So as long as you're doing crowd events as often as you see them, you will get money pretty quickly. Now, what are you going to do with that money? Now, you want to save it, because there is a passive way to get money in this game, and that's called the Cafe Theater. So right now, even in Versatiles or whatever it's called, you want to be completing those crowd events, but don't worry about the chests or anything yet. Don't worry about anything until you have completed sequence 2. Once you've completed sequence 2, you get your assassin gear, and that's when the game gets a lot easier. So what we're gonna look at here, we're in Paris right now, and I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be right over here in the Le Saint Louis. That was horrible. And you can see it says Cafe Theater. Now, you need to invest money in it. Do this as quickly as possible. Don't buy weapons, don't buy gear. As soon as you have money, and especially if you're opening chests, exploring, completing those crowd events, you're gonna come in here. You're gonna talk to a woman, and she's gonna ask you to invest. Once you do that, you're gonna want to come over to the treasure room, trophy room, and dump as much money as you can into this building by renovating it. Ground floor, all of these 5. That's all it really is, and it does cost quite a bit. But as you can see, I'm making 10,000 an hour, 10,000 every 20 minutes. So I make so as long as I come here collect, I get about 43,000, and it's because of that I have 120,000. I'm out of money. I haven't even completed the game, and I have so much money I don't have anything to do with. Now, what are you going to do with all that money? Don't bother buying anything cheap. Okay, so when you go into your gear loadout, your weapons, pick your favorite weapon. I do prefer the one-handed, but right now I'm trying for Initiate. And buy the most expensive one. Not necessarily the most expensive, but the most expensive to your style. Now, weapons don't really care. They are kind of black and white as far as which ones are better. As you can see, there's additional modifiers, and that's where you need your creed points for. Okay. As far as equipment, it's the same thing, but you want to go with your playstyle. For instance, my playstyle is high stealth, so I picked the helmet with the most stealth that I could get. This is club competition, so it's not unlocked. With the most stealth. Now and then of course I upgraded it. Now my secondary preference is Eagle Vision, which I strongly prefer as well. But I did, I bought this one. I earned this one somehow. But really what I'm going for is stealth, so that's why I got that one. Same with all of these. And as you are completing the crowd events, you will get some equipment that will keep you at least on par with the enemies until you get enough money to buy your top of the line. Now, I just heard something. There we go. Tackle a thief. And bam, there's another crowd event. So do those crowd events, because it really helps you get, if you get the first 5 sets, you should have enough money to upgrade your Cafe Theater as much as possible. At that point, you should be owning whatever you come across. You should be owning the sequences. Now, as far as sync points and that kind of stuff, You can use your preferences. I played a lot of multiplayer because if I needed to, if I was having trouble, I could kind of just sit back and let my teammates do it. Um, but as you can see, I have most everything upgraded already. My primary was stealth. Your primary objective should be upgrading your locksmithing because it can make certain sequences and areas and battles so much easier. The game is set up to a point where a lot of rooms, especially with key enemies, have two entrances, one in front of the enemy and one behind the enemy. And the one behind the enemy is a locked door. So upgrading that lock skill is something you want to prioritize. Obviously, it's sequence 2, sequence 5, and sequence 9. Secondly, which is very very useful as another stealth attacks, is the double assassination. Not the disguise, not the communal sense. You want the double air assassination and the double assassination. These two are very helpful because there are a lot of areas, a lot of doors that have two enemies next to each other, particularly with the air assassination. Especially if you're going stealth, you want to stay up top. Last thing regarding combat and beginners tips, I'm going to show you a simple combat technique. Learn to parry. Now the heavy attacks and the parry attacks can be obviously can be different. I'm gonna let these guys see me.
Come here, you! Look like you need a proper beating.
Yeah, you want to beat me? Come on.
Hey, talking to you, you Horson.
All right, so I'm waiting for him to decide to attack me, and I'm just gonna time that parry. Oops. Now my weapon is way stronger than these guys, so it automatically killed them when I struck again. But when your parry, when you see them, because of delay, as far as mental delay, reaction time. That's what I'm looking for. You wanna as soon as you see that orange, it goes from their life bar goes from regular to orange to yellow. Yellow is the perfect parry. So as soon as you see that orange, go ahead and press the button, and chances are it'll land on the yellow due to delay in reaction time, and you'll get your perfect parry. That's it for this video, beginner's tips from the Strategic Gamer. I hope it helps.